When you think about car audio, there's a lot of different components that fit into this category, whether it be speakers, subwoofers, enclosures, amplifiers, and more. But on today's show, we're going to narrow your focus down to one product that does one thing and one thing extremely well. We're talking about Audiomobile, and we've got Matt Overpeck in the studio with us today, not only to give us details about his outstanding lineup, but also some fresh news that you need to know about. This is CMA Networks, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Audiomobile, and it starts now. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another CMA Network session here, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and as promised, we are going to be laser targeted into one category today within the car audio market. We're talking about Audiomobile. Have you heard of them? Well, you should, because they do something extraordinarily well and extraordinarily unique. Now, as mentioned, we've got Matt Overpeck in the studio with us today. Now, Matt is the Executive VP and CTO. Matt, what can you tell us about what we're going to be discussing today?
Hi, Ben. Hi, everybody. Today, we're going to be covering some of our new exciting products that have been in the pipeline for, in some cases, a couple of years. Our first products we're going to talk about will be our new expanded enclosure line, which we call SOLOPASS, so dubbed because it's typically a single driver, but it works like a bandpass, so very high output and very small enclosures. We will also be talking about our new Elite 3200 series, as well as the very exciting Encore 4K or 4400 series, which has been shipping for about 7 months now. And then we have a surprise teaser that we'll be wrapping up the show with.
Oh, I love a good tease, but you're going to have to stay tuned until the end of the show to find out what Matt has in store and what he'll be announcing right here on today's show. But before we do that, a quick message from our sponsor, SiriusXM, reminding dealers why they love it. And when we come back, we're going to get into it with Matt Overpeck and Audiomobile. Don't you dare go away.
Hey guys, Ricky Lima here from SiriusXM. I had a chance to speak to some dealers and ask them what they love about selling SiriusXM. Here's what they had to say.
Coast-to-coast coverage.
I love SiriusXM for commercial-free music.
It's a great add-on sale and a profit opportunity.
We love selling SiriusXM because you can listen to the same channel coast to coast.
Profitability and ease of installation. It's a no-brainer.
We love selling SiriusXM for its ease of installation, great profitability, and reliability. People love it.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's get right into it. Now, Matt, I've been saying all show long that what Audiomobile does is something so specific and so unique. So what makes Audiomobile such a great, unique manufacturer within this car audio industry?
Well, Ben, that's a really good question. As you know, in car audio, the standard methodology for most brands is they make a little bit of everything: amp, speakers, wire, cable, woofers, boxes, whatever. We've chosen to go a contrarian route. So for the last decade plus, we have been shipping nothing but high performance, low profile, high power sound quality subwoofers, specifically engineered for today's mobile environment, whether that's trucks or exotics or what have you. And this has really resonated with retailers. We have dozens and dozens of what I refer to as Top Gun retailers, because they love the fact that we don't burden them with a bunch of stuff that might be fair to Midland. So, you know, if you really want to be great, you really need to specialize. And that puts us in a very unique, almost exclusive club, if you will, for mobile electronics.
Well, let's get into some product, Matt, because I remember a couple months back with the release of the brand new Encore Series, there's been buzz then, and there continues to be buzz. Can you share with us in detail some of the design features that really set these drivers apart from what's out there currently in the market?
So the new Encore 4K series or 4400 series has now been shipping for 6-7 months, and it is playing to rave reviews. The things that were the genesis of the thinking on the product is that amplifier power has continued to go up and up over the last decade, but power handling on subwoofers, particularly low profile subwoofers, has kind of been static for quite some time. Our Evo series having been at the vanguard of a 500 watt plus low profile subwoofer for the last 6-7 years. So we decided to take that up a notch with the introduction of the Encore Series, which is the world's first 1,000-watt plus low profile sub. So the 4412 is a svelte 4.9 inches deep, and the 4415 is 5.9 inches deep. They both work in very, very small sealed and ported boxes. And because they feature a 3-inch diameter voice coil, which is unheard of in a low profile sub, they will handle a ton of power, because as I like to say, we live in a 1K monoblock world. So it's important that there are subwoofers available that will fit the contemporary applications that dealers and customers want, and that will take the power that is abundantly available. Let me show you a couple of things. This is the Encore 4415, and as you can see, it's a composite sandwich cone. It's a carbon fiber dust cap. It uses an array of pro sound technologies, including what we call our super cool venting. You can see the 3 different vents there. This is different than the traditional single axial vent, which doesn't really do a good job of cooling. It mostly lets the air out under the dust cap. And when you combine that with what we call our iCar, which is this side aluminum intercooler, it serves to really keep the coil cool despite taking tons and tons of power. And as you can see, it's a diamond cut steel motor, and it's quite a beast.
No question, the visuals on that Encore are absolutely stunning and very stout, if I may say so myself. Now, moving on to the next series of products, and I remember this being your first gen, or the first next gen product, we'll say. What makes the Elite series now a unique performer in its class?
So the Elite series was actually the series that we debuted with back in 2012. It was a developmental platform. We didn't expect it to carry on as long as it did, but dealers really, really liked it. That was available on an 8, a 10, and a 12. They had different particular applications than what a typical woofer series does, where everything in that series has a commonality to it. The new Elite 32 series, the 10-inch has been shipping for about 7-8 months now. It's in some respects kind of the 10-inch version of the Encore. Has different frame, different cosmetics. It retains the very high power handling of the original Elite series, but it is also has been optimized to work both with our MCAR pre-tuned passive radiators, and we opted, because of the introduction of the Encore series, to not do a 12-inch in the Elite series. So the 10-inch has been shipping for, as I said, since early winter last year. The companion piece to that will be the Elite 3208. This is the Elite 3208 here. I don't have one of the 10s here, but it's similar in cosmetics. It uses a nickel-plated motor that you can see here, which is unique in the car audio realm. The 10 also has the same iCar technology as is used on the Encore. These both have higher power handling than their previous generation siblings. The 3210 is rated at 750 watts RMS and has a 21 millimeter linear X-Max, which is pretty remarkable for a driver that's only 5.3 inches deep. The Elite 3208 will ship in first quarter of next year. It's rated at 450 watts. It has a 15.5 millimeter X-Max. And as I said, these were designed to work both as infinite baffle applications as well as with the companion M cars in their respective sizes. So these are our direct step up from our Evo series and the step below the current Encore 44 series.
All right, Matt, at the top of the show, we told the folks tuning in that we're also going to be covering some enclosures. And when it comes to Audiomobile, I believe they're called SOLOPASS. So what makes these unique, and what exactly are their applications?
So Audiomobile has been shipping a narrow line of prefab high-performance manufactured in the USA enclosures to complement our low-profile subs and our modular coupled acoustic radiators, or MCARs, for 6 or 7 years now. We have pivoted, and starting 3 months ago, we started to ship our new SoloPass series. These are more vehicle specific, and while they retain the SoloPass name, they are now being shipped loaded. So the first SKU is our SS, as in Seal series. This is a F-150 type wedge. They use 3/4 inch MDF, made in California, incredibly robust. But what we've tried to do is bridge the gap between a traditional stealth vehicle specific enclosure and something that has a broader range of applications. So this is both a classic truck box, but it can also be used in an F-150 and a upfire type of applications. They are also modular because they are so compact they can be sold in pairs. So you can do a left one and a right one. They're small enough to work in either side of the transmission hump on GM platform trucks, or next to each other bookend style in an F-150. As I said, this driver or enclosure has been shipping for a few months now. They sound fantastic. 400 watts RMS. The next one on the line is a ported version using the same GT series driver. And then we will also be debuting later this month the first truly vehicle specific, our SPT or Tacoma box. It features a single 10 plus an MCAR 250 and is remarkably compact in that it only takes up on the passenger side. This will be expanded through the end of the year, and we expect to have over a dozen enclosures shipping by the end of the year.
Well, Matt, it seems like we've come to the end of the interview. Well, not quite, because I'm not going to let you go without asking you the question that you teased earlier. There are some rumblings going around that there may be a new series of drivers being introduced shortly from Audiomobile. What can you tell us at this time about this new series?
So yeah, the most exciting even headline news, although they won't ship until fall of this year, is our new Exact series. This is our first non-subwoofer product. This is 2 drivers. It includes the Exact 65 SL and the Exact 80 SL. What makes these unique is they use a 2-inch diameter Neo motor specifically designed for infinite baffle high output door applications. So these are neither a mid bass nor a sub bass or subwoofer. They have a class leading 250 watt RMS power handling, dual 4 ohms, carbon fiber sandwich, and the idea is to be able to bias the amplifiers on as far as power so that the 2 ohm mid bass drivers will get the lion's share of the power. These have a 9mm one-way linear X-Max. That's almost twice traditional high-performance mid-bass drivers from the leading brands, but they will also be very, very affordable relative to some of the avant-garde brands, simply because of the fact that Neo has dropped by more than 50% over the last year. So these will come in at a very, very sharp price point, and frankly, nothing like them on the marketplace. The driver that we think will really do very well with is the 80 SL. So again, it's very slim, 3.3 inches of deep, dual 4 ohms, 250 watts RMS with a 9mm X-Max. So whereas the 6-inch will move more air than any 6x9 on the planet, the 8-inch will actually move air like it's a 10. And the cool thing is the 8-inch, we will be providing adapter plates to fit into Corvettes and Teslas and Porsches, but I think we will do even more business with them because it's becoming a thing to put 8-inch woofers in the 6x9 holes for Chevy and Ford trucks. And if you've ever heard a system with a pair of real deal 8s in the doors, in many cases, you don't even need a subwoofer because they'll move that much air. But again, these are unique in the marketplace because there's never been a woofer specifically designed to deliver that kind of performance in that kind of application. So very excited, and feedback from dealers who have seen the protos of this have been like, I want that yesterday. So we're excited that these will ship in the third quarter.
Well, Matt, you've presented some pretty strong arguments today on today's presentation. different variety of drivers that do different jobs. And yep, those 6 and 8s look pretty gnarly. And I can't wait to hear those in a vehicle myself. And I'm sure dealers think the same. Congratulations on that new product launch in the Exact Series. Now, if I were to ask you to summarize for us, Matt, dealers tuning in might be discovering Audiomobile for the first time. You now have a bigger offering than you ever have in the past. What message do you have for these dealers that are considering becoming the next Audiomobile dealer?
We are on a very aggressive expansion program. Some of the products that I've shown here today represent about half of the new products that are in the pipeline. Our goal has always been to deliver very high performance, relevant solutions, because nobody needs redundancy, more of the same stuff. Unfortunately, as far as drivers and in particular subwoofers, over the last decade, there hasn't been very much to get excited about. So Audiomobile has always been at the vanguard of pushing the envelope. And as I mentioned earlier, amplifier power has gone up and up and up over the last decade. But drivers for doors and subwoofers, whether they're low profile or what have you, have not really evolved very much. So the fact that dealers are seeing continued growth in customers wanting to add bass to their factory systems, or whether they see exotics, or they see Fords or GM pickup trucks, or some mix of both, people love bass. And we know this, and we know that that will not change. So we continue to focus, laser focus on making sure that we deliver the best bang for the buck with the highest performance envelope to provide dealers with the opportunity to make more happy customers, and to do so in a form factor friendly manner. We look forward to feedback from dealers over the next few months as these new products get introduced in a sequential manner.
That was Audiomobile's Matt Overpeck giving us all the details of their current lineup of products, including a sneak peek into a brand new series which is coming down the pipe, according to Matt, in the third quarter of this year. Now, should any of these products tickle your fancy, make sure you check out the website that you could find all the details about Audiomobile products, which is audiomobile.net. Now, if you happen to be a dealer in Canada and you're interested in getting you some of these products, well, then you need to know that their official Canadian distributor is, in fact, Importel. They can be contacted at importel.com. And on that note, we reached out to our favorite 12-volt Viking, Mr. Jaron Jalmalan, to get his insight on these products. Now, Jaron, no doubt these are unique products. So first of all, what's your thoughts on this product for a retail store, and which products today, and I know you're going to say the Exact Series, but I want to hear it anyways, what products today really blew you away?
Yeah, certainly Audiomobiles are go-to when you're building that high-end system for that customer that wants a very musical system in their vehicle. They're spending a lot on the gear that they're putting in their car, but maybe they don't have the space in the trunk to do a traditional full-size sub setup. Audiomobile products are great because they're a form factor fit. So not only are they a shallow driver, they also work in very small enclosures without compromising on the sound quality within that vehicle. So you can still have a very musical overall sound to go with those high-end speakers in the front and still have a great sub in the back. Yeah, like Ben, you said and touched on, of course I'm going to talk about the Exact Series as being one of the favorites coming in. Getting that mid-bass to the front of the vehicle, not even mid-bass, full bottom end bass to the front of the vehicle is really going to help that sound quality. I'm a huge advocate for it. I love that real kick drum bass in the front of the vehicle, and some of those speakers is very tough to get that bottom end out of. So we're definitely going to be interested and excited in the Exact Series, and also the Encore Series that has been shipping now for a while. We just got our hands on recently, to have that power for that customer that still wants it very musical, but they also want a system that really has that output and really gonna get down, as some people call it, and really have that output. That's what they're looking for. There's different customers out there and different applications for subwoofers. And yes, Automobile focus is just on a subwoofer application, but there's so many layers within that as well. So we want to make sure our customers are looked after in that regard.
Jaron, I have to agree with you. The application of said drivers with the design that Audiomobile has put into them makes a lot of sense. So if you're talking with a dealer, like Matt was saying, two parts to this question. Number one, do you agree with what Matt's saying that the evolution of the car audio amplifier has certainly increased in power output? So therefore, this meets that demand. And number two, how does a dealer go about fitting this into their current offering of um, full category brands?
Yeah, certainly, Ben. Amplifiers are getting more efficient with the realm of Class D amplifiers. And not only are they getting more efficient, which allows them to put more output to the subwoofers, they're getting even smaller as well. So that gives you the ability to add even more amplifiers within the car. Back in the old days, you had big surfboard amplifiers that you had to find space for in the back of the car. And that's not the case now. You can have multiple amplifiers that are putting out 1,000 watts that are this big. So yeah, the introduction of the Encore Series, a subwoofer that is still a low-profile woofer, as low-profile as can be in a 12 and a 15, but will handle 1,000 watts. It's a need for the industry that the subwoofers need to keep up with what the amplifiers are doing. And for your second part of the question, where do we see a fit with Audiomobile? We see a fit within that niche subwoofer brand within your store. Lots of dealer catalogs have full brand offering from head unit speakers, amplifiers, subwoofers as well, but Audiomobile should be your go-to for woofers, especially for that high-end sound that the customer's looking for. And with the introduction of the Encore, you can also get into the customer that's really looking for that high output as well, but still wants it musical. At the end of the day, it's music, and what's the point if it's not musical still?
I want to take this opportunity to thank both my guests today, both MATT OVERPECK from Audiomobile as well as Jaron Gelmalan from Importel. And from what I heard today, this is a brand that certainly knows their lane and they're sticking to it. And they found success in doing so by being such the specialist within this space. And speaking of space, I'm going to challenge you to find another driver in the market right now that offers that type of power handling, that type of output with that type of cosmetics in the type of tiny little space requirements that these are spec'd out to be. And that's something to think about. On that note, thanks for tuning in to this CMA Networks presentation brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.